This is your weekly astrology forecast from Born Without Boundaries Tarot over here on Astrology Motivation. I gotta say, I haven't been this excited about a week in a long time because of what Pluto is doing. Now, Pluto is a planet of just intense, dynamic shifts. And when it comes along, it intensifies everything, but it intensifies it in a way that it almost makes it deeper. It makes it more shadowy. It makes it more sensual. It makes it more intensive. So the inquiries are deeper. It's almost obsessive. And this week is really exciting me because Pluto is trying to two inner planets. Now, Pluto is the outmost planet that we have. I know it's not technically a planet, but like planetary body that we follow in astrology. Right now, that's the outmost planet that we have. So it's usually like big thinking, deep probing concepts. But when it's trying to not one but two, it's trying to Mars and it's trying to Mercury. And those are inner planets that impact our day-to-day. That means that there is an exceptional energy overcoming us this week, where finally, even people who are not psychic are gonna fucking get it. They're going to be open to and interested in, almost obsessively digging deeply and probing into deep questions. And what I really love is Mercury is still trine to Uranus, which means there's some sort of revolutionary aspect of change and technological innovation that's coming out. Pluto is sextile to Neptune, which means that these two are in cahoots to get some shit done. And I have said for a while that Pluto and Neptune are very much bringing people back in tune with faith and taking something out of the dream world, or something that was conceived to be more or less dreamy or dreamed up or conceptual or just intuitive. And bam, there's this probing, intense, intellectual, academic ability to take all those things that were once just nebulous and conceptual and maybe even considered occult or dreamy or mythological, and bring them into the reality. Jupiter, meantime, is also trine to Venus. So you have another very magnifying, magnanimous, intensely optimistic, open-minded energy expanding what rules finances, where we're willing to put our money, what we're willing to put our money on, what we're willing to invest in. So I'm telling you right now, this is a week where people are going to be more open to seeing value beyond what's recognizable and measurable. They're going to be more able to take risks simply because it's like in some ways they're already connected to what's on the other side of that risk, which is something bigger than anything something normal can dream up. Now, how does this affect you day to day? Well, it definitely means you'll be able to have conversations on a much more fluent level with your superiors. You'll be able to impress people. It definitely means that those things inside of you that you've been like, oh, I want to know this. You'll be able to double down, even if you don't like reading or you don't like studying or you don't like research. You'll be able to double down and really get to the nitty gritty. In fact, if you need to take extra time this week to just sort of be by yourself and research the shit out of something, I think you're going to. Because this is a time for intense, deep inquiry. To commit yourself to taking what is hid in the hidden realms, what is not obvious, what is in the realm of faith. And like I said, maybe even mythology, definitely the occult and astrology, mysticism. and researching it academically, bringing it into a form and communicating and sharing it in a form that's actually very intelligent, actually very logical, actually very, people are able to talk about this with you. People are willing to open up conversations about you. This is all happening through Mercury and Uranus. This is all about communications. People are able to actually talk about these things, articulate their ideas about these things. I mean, I love this week. I really do. And even though there is just still that tension that still lives between Mercury and Neptune, which means things are foggy, things can be dreamy, things can be not so clear. It also means that Mercury is taking those things, those discomfort, those things that are uncomfortable, that can't be explained. And because of that trine to Pluto, you're looking to fucking figure it out. So it's almost like that opposition, those things that trouble you, are what is inspiring you to do the deep digging. So go deep this week. Now, when it comes to romance, this could have an intense impact on your romantic life too. Like really interested in passion and going deeper, digging deeper, like getting darker, not even being afraid of the intensity itself. Maybe even being able to have intense conversations with somebody. It's this kind of energy. It's the lack of fear, because Pluto is in harmony with so many inner planets. This sense of the lack of fear, of having our shadows to be seen. The lack of fear of being able to discuss them, because you're able to articulate these concepts that aren't necessarily normally spoken about. So this is a wonderful time, especially for those of you who are in long-term relationships. This is a really wonderful time for you to deepen those relationships. I mean, it could even be a great time for you to open up and make some breakthroughs when it comes to talk therapy, if you guys are in therapy with each other, or to start it, or even just not need it, but get to the intensity yourself. And if you're meeting somebody, 10 to 1, it's going to be somebody the person who attracts you is going to be somebody who is able to have these deep, intense conversations with you and talk about these concepts that just fascinate you. Both, like, it's like the two of you are fascinating each other with the conversations that you're having. I do think this will have global impact. I think that I've been saying this for a while. There's some sort of breakthrough that I feel is coming through when it comes to something that was conceived for so long as being just kind of like voodoo or, woo-woo or, mysticism, and kind of brushed off as, no, that's pseudoscience. And it's not. There's some sort of proof in the pudding of actually being able to, put a marker on it, put a measurement on it. This is really, because Uranus is really activated, and Uranus represents using science, technology, and especially mathematics to see what you can't really see, but to prove through mathematics and patterns and measurements and putting all of those logical, sensical tools together to prove something that is not seen. It took us a very long time to see Uranus, and especially Pluto, but we discovered them through mathematics. And so ultimately, I feel like there's another discovery that is going to pop through very, very soon. And it's intense because I think it will change our concept of reality, but even better, it'll change our concept of mysticism. It will change our relationship with spirituality, because for right now, people think it's just a choice and it's an alternative and it's something that lives on the fringe. And really, it's something that should be everywhere inside of all of us. And that concept, I promise you, if it's not being discovered now, it is being born right now. And in the next couple of years, especially I would say up to 2025, I think that's when Uranus moves out of Taurus, something's going to come out. in the next 3 years. It's being born right now. I can tell you that right now. But for how that's going to impact and affect us today, this week, expect the intensity, expect the probing details, expect the courage to go deeper in conversations and really be able to impress people, especially authority figures with this. This is a great time to put forth a project. This is a great time to go out there and really sell yourself. You know, even though you may not have the right a portfolio or whatever. It doesn't matter, because your intensity and the way that you probe and the questions that you ask will be impressive, and people are more open to things that interest them now, as opposed to things that are obvious. So I hope that you can take this energy and take advantage of it. I'm sure, especially for the community, the spiritual community where you guys use your intuition a lot, take that intuition and run with it this week, because it is intensified and sacred always. But it's almost like in some ways the shadow is what people are looking for as the guide this week. And I don't mean evil or dark, I mean the unseen. Because the sun is still under duress. It's still very much being challenged by these same things that are very much in harmony with Pluto. So it's not about the light, and it's not about the obvious, and it's not about what's already been defined. It is 150% with the potential and the impulse and the instinct to go deeper and find something that isn't that obvious, that's going to really, really impress everyone, including you, this week. Leave the comments below. Tell me what you think about this, what you feel about what I've just said, and how this energy is impacting you. Remember to like this video and share it on your social media platforms. And please be sure that you have subscribed to this channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell, because if you want to participate in my live daily chats where I do general tarot card readings, you'll need that bell to be selected for all notifications, because I go online 5 days a week at different times. It's not a set schedule like on Born Without Boundaries. So in order to know and be able to participate in those live chats, you will have to have that all notifications selected, so you'll get the notification. So remember to do that too. I love you guys. Please remember to be subscribed to Born Without Boundaries Tarot, so that you can be right in tune and right there when the 12 zodiac sign specific messages come out each week. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the videos.